friends and family, and welcome to the final day of the 2023 MVP Open, presented by OTB Discs. FPO Chase Card coverage brought to you by Ace Run Pro. This is our last DGPT playoff, and my name's Holly Finley.
And I am Raven Klein. Welcome to day 4. Let's watch the disc soar. We are in Leicester, Massachusetts, as Holly said, for the DGPT playoff finale. And I'm really excited to see this card play. We don't have to deal with the same wind that we dealt with yesterday, which is really nice. And I think it was the warmest of the 4 days. So, good weather, good crowd, lots of energy. Starting off our chase card, we have our very own Holly Finley, who is currently 4th in birdies at 24%. Next up, Valerie Mandujano, who is currently 4th in C1X putts at 81%.
Next up, Holyn Handley, 9th in fairway hits at 63%. Rounding out the card, Macie Velediaz, 2nd in fairway hits at 69%.
Starting off with the iconic hole 1, par 4, 695 feet. Off the tee, you can either bail out left and make sure that you are safe, or you can get a little more frisky, go over the pond and try and get max distance, landing yourself somewhere on the path. That leaves you with an easier second approach. A lot of players are laying up just short of the mouth and leaving themselves with a slightly longer bid to avoid the OB around the basket, but you can definitely get some ground play toward the basket for a tap-in birdie. A nice safe left shot there, but still getting the distance. I like that play.
Valerie Mandujano.
Valerie going for a safer shot, hyzering to the left of the pond. Holyn Handley actually won a CTP on this hole, but from the men's pad earlier this week with a prize of $4,500.
So cool. Yeah, the basket that you saw in the flyover that was just across the pond was their target.
Holyn rips on her nuke, getting well across the pond. Max distance.
She's got to have some of that confidence from the CTP thing. She's like, well, if I can clear it from the men's. Macie Velediaz rounding off this card. Releasing on a little bit of an Annie angle to get full flight, and she pushes a good distance left side of the fairway.
First up, Valerie. From the left side, she doesn't really have a run up, so she opts for a standstill. It's a good looking shot to play the hole for par. And I've landed on the left side as well, and from here you cannot see the opening or the basket. You just pick a spot in the canopy and aim for it. And then it's a surprise when you walk around the corner.
Very nice shot, avoiding all of those small trees. Macie very tight to some of the Christmas trees, and she does have a forehand. Clips actually one of the branches, but doesn't really have effect on the disc.
He's like, I didn't want
shake.
I didn't want nucks. I'm taking the flag back. That's funny. Holyn's
Ooh.
second shot parks it for the drop in 3 Holyn Handley. This is Mandujano's third shot. Nice and low, no higher than the rocks. Good way to avoid the OB. Good speed control. I just spun my stud up there in the bullseye. And Macie jump putts to the koozie.
Well played by this chase card. Everyone is just up underneath the basket. Tap-in pars for you and Valerie. The wonderful tap-in birdie for Holyn. And a par for Macie as well.
Here we are, hole 2, and uphill, par 3, 299 feet. The rock wall on your right is out of bounds. You can throw straight. We are playing the basket on the right, and as long as you make it to the rock wall, at least the one short of the basket here, you can have a putt for a birdie. Preferably you get over the wall and sneak up there inside the circle. The trouble here is if you go over the wall OB on the right, or if you hit those trees on the left in the middle area. Sometimes it's tough to scramble if you end up in a bad position. First up, Holyn Handley after a birdie on the first. Wow, laser right at the basket. 18-foot putt for birdie.
Sidewinder?
Roadrunner.
Roadrunner, that's right.
Valerie with a beautiful shot going right at the basket.
Ooh,
She'll
hugs
have
that rock wall.
25-footer.
Macie also hugging that right side, but catches pretty much the solo tree and kicks left short of the trees. She has a step out forehand approach. Very smooth. Puts herself in the bullseye for her par.
Great touch on that. Got a birdie putt from 25 feet. Whoopsie. Just want to say thanks to those rocks for keeping me in bounds.
That's very nice of them.
I agree. Mandujano for birdie. Just a bit low off the front of the cage.
Holyn Handley in for birdie. Great start for her.
Mandujano to save par. No problems. I'll tap in a par.
And Macie with the par save as well.
Been rocking these polos all year. I love the breathability and comfortability. They've allowed me to perform at a high level. Check them out at flightfactorydisc.com.
Hole 3, par 3, 354 feet. We are back to the pin location from day 1 and 2. Off the tee, you are throwing from out of bounds, so you need to clear that rock wall. And then if you have a disc that you can maybe throw on any or a little bit flat, that you can get a reliable turn, and then that fade back toward the basket is ideal. Although I've seen a lot of players who even with an early release can sneak up the left side and then either have a long look or at least a scramble for the par.
Holyn Handley up first after 2 birdies in a row. The angle starts out right, but it hyzers too quickly. And she still gets amazing distance. She'll have a birdie putt if she's into it. It's a good shape, just a bit low.
Just low, yeah. I mean, I barely want to call it an error, but most common error is like when you hit the line, just to go a little too low.
Valerie hits a tree and kicks left, halfway down the fairway. Good looking shot from Macie. She makes it to the first stump and she'll have a birdie putt.
With the uphill angle of this hole, it's definitely not an impossible birdie by any means, but this one always feels so good and definitely gets strokes on folks.
Valerie's upshot goes a bit long, almost hits the camera guy. Got a 68-footer.
A lot of the best drives on this hole still are circle 2. Ooh, that looked nice.
Velediaz for birdie. She jumps it up to the koozie. Macie's game reminds me a lot of Allie Smith. She's very
smart.
And particular about which long putts she's going to go for.
Yeah.
Valerie pitches up. She didn't really have a putt, so she'll be playing for bogey.
This hole did come in halfway through, so 9th most difficult on the course with most of the field taking a par, but there was a single birdie.
Who was it?
On this hole today? Hannah Blomroos.
Hannah.
Yes.
She probably threw a mid. Here we are, hole 4, a fun downhill par 3, only 246 feet. We do have a Mando now. There's 2 routes that are the most common. Say the center route, which is a good route if it's not windy, and then you have this right side route. Take an overstable disc and just punch it to that right pocket. Hopefully it hyzers back and you have a putt. I've also seen a lot of people just jump putt to the right side and let their disc hyzer back. You can get an ace here, but if you miss, you're going to be in the water.
I feel like an ace on this hole is an accident.
I think Nico aced in practice.
Yeah, he aced in practice and in the tournament?
Oh, he aced in the tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
I was going to say, maybe he was going for it.
Memory failed me. I went to take the right side gap, but I missed the line and it worked out anyway. Pig right outside the whiskers.
Macie going with the forehand. Looked like she had a harp.
That was beautiful.
Great angle control. And like a lot of the holes here, you can get some nice ground play.
Macie hits the gap and gives herself a 35-foot putt for birdie. Valerie with a standstill. Hits a tree and she'll have a circle 2 putt at it. You going for this putt?
Probably it would be like a soft bit. It would probably look very similar to that where it's like maybe, but I'd want to be hitting something short if I missed.
Valerie drops down near the tower for par. Macie gives it a long bid. She'll basically drop in a par.
Or maybe I'll even phrase it. Today, I would have gone for it. Yesterday, with the wind, I probably would have laid up. Ooh, that was a good bid. Holyn for birdie.
Holyn in for birdie on the 4th. That's 3 birdies already. Her shirt is so bright.
It's my favorite shirt that she has. When she bought it earlier this year, she's like, yeah, I'm not used to having such a bright colored shirt. She's like, but I think I love it. And
Me
it's
too.
become her like final day shirt.
Makes sense. Got to put on the lucky shirt.
Yeah, I mean, it's working for her. So after Holyn's birdie, we have 3 pars on the card. Next up, hole 5, par 3, 262 feet. If you have a strong forehand or you're comfortable with a backhand turnover and or you are a lefty, the more open fairway, albeit over OB the entire way, is to take this left gap that the drone is flying and come crashing in toward the basket. However, a lot of people will take one of 2 right side fairways. There is an inner line or an outer line where if you play it with the right height, you can get a skip in toward the circle. There's a lot to get in your way, but people feel more comfortable not going over the water.
Holyn Handley up first. After a birdie on the 4th. Forehand spike. Wow.
That looks great.
And she is on the green, putting for birdie from 28 feet. I'm taking the safe right side, and if I get there for a birdie, it's a bonus. Otherwise, I'm playing the hole for par.
Macie, another strong forehand player, going for the forehand. Oh, absolutely parked.
In the bullseye, Flight
Yes.
Factory run back.
Oh, good. I was hoping we'd see it from this angle. Beautiful shot.
A drop-in birdie for Macie.
This is probably one of my favorite birdies on the course. Valerie lining up the backhand over the water. Great height.
The turn is great.
Ooh.
The bit of a baby hyzer finish almost hits
Going
the
for
camera
the-
guy. And look at this. Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh, inbounds by an inch.
I was waiting for the flag. I was like, wait.
That's one of those lines, the OB line, that you don't necessarily think about because you're so worried about the water.
I pitch up the stud for a par.
This is Valerie for a birdie. Beautiful putt. I like seeing the birdie with the backhand turnover play.
Valerie had a good angle because her putt was not at the water. Holyn for birdie.
To make it 4 out of 5.
Well done.
Holyn is on a roll. Love to see it.
And Macie with the CTP of the group. Birdie for her.
3 birdies on the same card on hole 5. That is fantastic. And a tap-in par. This was the 3rd most difficult hole of the day, and you wouldn't have known it by watching this coverage.
Macie taking the risk.
Welcome back, Ace Runners. Hole 6, par 3, 315 feet. Rock wall on the right is OB. Water on the left, also OB. You can play it conservative and pitch it to that little stump, do the exact same shot, and get yourself a 3. But this is the playoff event. We're trying to get up there and get a birdie too. A laser line thrown at the chips will give you a nice ground play scoot right up into the circle. And if you hyzer anywhere left, you might have a putt. Sometimes you can be right around the basket and the trees are very obstructive. Holyn Handley up first after a birdie on the 5th. She's in bounds, left side. Don't see this very often.
Ooh, but I like it.
Forehand flex from Macie.
Gets a little caught up on the pencil trees guarding the basket.
Valerie with a hyzer flip up. Looks like she's made it to right outside circle 1.
Good tree.
Oh, that tree was a good friend of mine today.
Valerie was kicked a little bit off to the left side, but she's just going to throw a little skip forehand approach.
I don't know why the chips here are so fast.
You should ask him.
I should. I don't really have a perfect line, but I decide I'm going to run it because it's uphill. Macie pitches up. Holyn, the birdie putt from 45 feet.
Oh,
Trickles out right side. 18-foot comeback for par, Holyn. It's in, no problems. Aren't these the most ideal conditions to play in after participating in yesterday's extravaganza?
yes, definitely. It was a warm welcome back to the course.
Macie drops in a par.
It's like the course knows that if that's what you leave it with, like that's your memory, you're not going to be happy. So it's like, oh, we got to give them all a good day so they're all excited for next year.
Holyn and Macie both under par so far. Myself and Valerie sitting at even.
Hole 7, par 3, 316 feet. Your best bet is to just follow this path however you see fit, whether that is a forehand flex and maybe ending a little bit more to the right side just for safety, or pumping something with the backhand up the middle and using the ground play and skipping toward the basket. It is a little uphill the whole way, but this one can get a little hairy, even though there's no OB to contend with.
Holyn up first. A low, more conservative shot, but perfectly in the middle. And she turned around and said, I'm really happy about that. So I think maybe the other day she didn't end up in the middle.
Yeah. Macie leaking a little bit right, very common to see on this hole, trying to get that full flight. There's like a line of trees on the right side that you don't really see off the tee.
This is the first time the women have played the longer tee here. We used to play the short tee.
It's amazing the difference that made in shot shape.
Using the same Star Roadrunner from hole 2.
Beautiful. Macie kicked a little bit to the left side of the fairway, so she'll line up the forehand approach. Hits the guardian tree, but she's inside the circle for par.
Fumble the bag.
Fumble the bag.
Got it. Got all that.
Valerie close enough just to do a jump putt approach in the bullseye for par.
Holyn Handley for birdie. from 55.
Gives it a decent run, but she's a little bit low and right side, so she'll have to settle for par.
Missed the birdie putt right side. Macie for par.
Good putt.
Holyn's comeback par putt.
Easy peasy.
Valerie offers for me to tap out, but on the final day, I'm not in a rush. I decide I want to just play in the proper order. I don't need to tap out and hurry on down to the next tee box. I appreciate the sentiment, though.
It's very nice. I always check with my cards at the beginning, see how everyone feels about the tap out and walk away. I personally don't care, if someone wants to tap out. That's 4 pars for our card on hole 7.
Pretty clean looking front 9 for the group so far.
Definitely.
Here we are, hole 8, par 3, 299 feet. The drive goes over the water. You must land on the island to be in bounds. And if you don't, you proceed to the drop zone at the top of the hill behind the basket. We have the 8 holes here, so everybody's cheering you on. As soon as you get to that tee pad, the crowd is roaring, got a lot of adrenaline pumping, and you feel like you could do anything.
That's true.
And then when you round the corner to make the putt, they're even louder. And you feel like you could make any putt. Yes, here it is.
There's the king himself. I've said it on some of the other days, and I'll say it again today. If you ever get a chance to come down to Maple Hill and be a part of the 8 holes, it is quite the experience.
I got goosebumps again just seeing the roar. Holyn Handley up first. A laser right at the basket. And she'll have a 18-foot putt for birdie. Velediaz too low out of the
Did it
hand.
skip? Okay, well it did skip a lot, but
Macie
not enough.
OB in the water. She'll go to the drop zone.
You can hear everyone in the back. They say Mark. It's actually the name of the diver who goes in and retrieves hundreds and thousands of discs, really, is what it seems like.
Valerie saved in the corner pocket by the wall. Color guard. I hyzer to the circle's edge for a birdie putt.
Macie from the drop zone, not taking any part of it today.
Didn't even think about it.
Nope.
Mandujano for birdie from circle's edge. Half in and then out. Got a birdie putt also from right inside the circle. Whoopsie. That tree was killing my vibe. A comeback longer than the original. That's the
You
thing
just
I
wanted
like
to cross
do.
the whole island.
I do,
Yeah. Can't make the island feel bad by only being on half of it.
Handley for birdie. It's in. That's Holyn Handley's
Feeling
5th
good
birdie.
today.
Putting her at 5 under for the round. Valerie taps in a par.
Macie saves herself any possible anguish and gets to tap in the bogey. Holyn's still the only player under par, and with that bogey, Macie's back to even, joining Holly and Valerie. Welcome back, hole 9, par 4, 400 feet. You're teeing off from a platform and you want your shot to push a little bit straight or even crest the hill and possibly get some right finish to it. As long as you can get to the top of the hill, you can see the basket and then make your decision. Do you want to lay up short and not risk going OB, or are you going to try and cross to the island and have a birdie putt? This section in between is OB. Other than that, you got a lot of space to work with.
Holyn Handley up first after a birdie on the 8th. Good looking shot, center cut, powerful. Past the blue tee on the downslope. Mandujano's shot a bit low, but crests the hill perfectly. Past the blue tee, also on the downslope. It almost looked like she threw it right into the top of the hill and then boom, it was perfect.
Ooh, I like the turn on that. Oh, too much turn. Never mind.
Too much turn.
A little deceptive. I looked. Macie going straight off the tee. She gets more of a left finish and not quite as far down the hill as Holyn and Valerie did.
And from this position, I've decided to play the hole for par, so I'm just going to get through the gap and figure it out from there. And Macie, she could easily get to the green, but once again, she plays smarter, more conservative, just lays it up short. She'll play for par. Holyn's not feeling very conservative today. She's trying to get to the green.
Oh,
Just a bit short, and she's out of bounds in that water in front of the basket.
she will be putting to save par from the other side of the little island. Valerie in a similar position to Holyn, just a little bit further forward. Curious if she'll take that inner line or if she's going to go wide hyzer. Inner line.
Inner line.
Skip off the bridge?
Bridge skip. Putting for birdie, Valerie Mandujano. I love a bridge skip.
Did we see one yesterday or 2 days ago? I feel like we saw one this week. Ooh, good stump. Yours was coming in with some heat.
You can't finesse a pig. Okay? You gotta soldier boy it. You gotta crank on it or it's not gonna go anywhere.
That's fair, that's fair.
Macie pitches up for the safe drop-in par. And Holyn actually has a chance to save par with this putt. It's about 50 feet. Straddles the creek. What a unique footing.
Ooh, gives it some mustard. Overshoots the basket. So she will unfortunately be putting for bogey.
Mandujano in for birdie.
Fantastic. I love going for this island on the second shot. Holyn with her first blemish. Sad day.
I make good for the par.
9 for 9. I love it.
And Macie taps in her par.
Look at your cute little gray square.
It's so great.
That's going to round out our front 9 here on the final day. Holly even through all pars. And Holyn shooting really well. Only one bogey. I mean, fantastic. Checking in on our leaderboard, Kristen Tatar in the lead, 7 down. Owen right behind her with the 6 down. Evelina and Haley, 3. And we've got Holly right behind.
We appreciate you guys tuning in to this final day coverage of the MVP Open.
That was such a cute one.
Oh, if you would like to support me, Holly Finley, you can check out some of my Star Color Glow Tour Series Innova It's Speed 7 Fairway. You can get them at your favorite online disc golf retailer or at the Innova store.
And if you'd like to support me, I did have a jersey drop this week with Under Par apparel, and that is available for pre-order for the next 4 days. Or you can get my Tour Series Convict at dynamicdisc.com. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you on the back 9.